A lot of the time where I feel like super sense of hope or inspiration or making a decision in my life is that 10 minutes after a cinema.
And Kathy's skin room as well.
I've got a bit of that skin.
You've got...
Not in a weird way, it's a present from Emerald. There was a stat the other day I was reading, it was like 90% of streaming shows still post Black Lives Matter are made by white people. I was like, how's that even possible? And with South Asian stuff, it feels like sometimes there's only space for just a few of you.
Hello and welcome to the BIFA podcast with me, Joy Hunter.
And me, Karis Aldridge. Each week we'll be talking to a new guest about their journey into film, their most inspiring cinema-going experiences, and what makes independent film so special.
The fangirling over film stars continues this week because our guest is the amazing
Shazad Latif. Very exciting to be chatting to him because he is starring in the huge Wuthering Heights.
Wuthering Heights. We quizzed him about everything. We talked about the sets, the costumes, the skin room. We got into it all. We talked about working with Margot Robbie.
Yes.
I mean, we're sat here and we cannot wait to watch it. So we really hope that anyone who's involved in the hype right now enjoys the podcast.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, he gave a lot of fun behind the scenes and just of his experience working on it. So it's very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
He's also starred in a number of really fun projects, including the Amazon Prime Nautilis. So we spoke about that reinterpretation of the text and getting to shoot in Australia over the last 11 months. He was also in the rom-com What's Love Got to Do With It with Lily James. And of course, he's Clem Fandango.
Oh, Clem Fandango. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
So yeah, I mean, it was just joyous all the way through. We had a great time.
He's such a great guy.
So without further ado, please enjoy our chat with the incredible Shazad Latif. Shazad Latif. This is Joy Hunter. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How you
This is Karis Aldridge. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
We're so happy to have you on the BIFA podcast.
That's a good way to start. No, thanks.
We're so excited to have you today.
I'm very excited to be here. This is one of the best podcasts about, so I'm very happy to talk film.
Oh, stop it.
And Clem.
And Clem
Fandango, of course. We would love to dig back a little bit, first and foremost, into how you got into film and your early interests. So yeah, let's know a bit about where that love of film started for you, Shazad Latif.
Well, I didn't really have any theatrical links or anything in the biz, but my nan, who's 92, literally, she was 92 and about 5 days ago.
Well,
happy birthday, Nan.
Happy birthday, Nan. Lillian.
Lillian.
She watches Strictly and loves animals and just watches old movies, but that's all she talks about now. So it's she had pictures of all the old movie stars. There's Clark Gable on the wall, there's Errol Flynn on the wall, there's Marilyn Monroe, and she would have a cabinet. There was a little cabinet next to her drinks cabinet, and it was 8 VHSs, and it was El Cid with Charlton Heston, Now Voyager, Bette Davis, Once Upon a Time in America, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Great Expectations, and Wuthering Heights, and there was a couple more.
Wow.
But
I mean, that's a collection.
and that was a nice little collection, but that's
perfect.
all they had, and it was before DVD, so it was. And Singing in the Rain. And
the best.
But it was just a rewatch of all those movies. So at her house, and obviously then, she bought a few more VHSs, but for a while, so my mum and my aunt Yvonne, they would just talk about Kathy and Heathcliff all the time. So that was, which is weird for the Wuthering Heights thing, but also that was where film first started. And then my mum would keep a diary of every time she went to the cinema. So it's I went to see Dog Day Afternoon in the cinema today, and during the 70s, best era.
That's
and
so cool.
She would cut out Radio Times and put it on the VHSs, Streetcar Named Desire, pictures of Brando. So
that's amazing.
She was obsessed.
Proper fan.
And pictures of Keanu Reeves on the wall and Brando. It's just because she fancied them as well.
Yeah.
So
Fair enough.
Yeah.
They still up on the wall.
The Keanu Reeves one was up there until about 5 years ago. And then she's
is
onto.
it time to bring them down yet? No.
I liked him.
Yeah, I mean,
it was him during Speed, and there was another one with long hair.
Nice.
And then my dad worked as a film reel changer, projectionist assistant in the 70s. When he came over when he was 13 from Pakistan, but when he was 15, this guy took him into the cinema, and he was assistant there. So there was three different.
It's all family affair.
And then my best
that.
friend's dad was Roger Lloyd Pack, and so.
Only Fools and Horses.
Trig.
Yeah, so cool.
And a great stage actor in his own right as well. So there was a theatrical influence that came a bit later.
Yeah.
And him and his mum Jan Markham was a poet. They taught me a bit of that stuff.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So that was the early influences. And we had some great teachers in year 4, Peggy and Barbara, and this was at Brookfield Primary School.
You never forget them, do you?
They were best friends, and one was a year 4 teacher, one was a year 6 teacher. They were so funny, and they sort of started out early, where we understood comedy through them and sarcasm and stuff like that. So then, but then she was doing Romeo and Juliet in year 4.
Yeah.
And she made us audition for it as 8-year-olds, but we had to line up and improvise the balcony scene.
Oh, nice.
And we were like,
Improvise?
no one, yeah, and we were like, she was like, get up and just say whatever you like, you know, get with Juliet. And we were like, what? Like, everyone wanted to be Mercutio and Tybalt because it was cool.
Yeah,
like.
that's cool.
Yeah,
And then,
cute fight.
So then we just went round and then ended up getting Romeo, and I was like, oh, this is great, like, you know. And then that was the start of like the interest. But yeah, that's the early days. Yeah.
Nice.
God,
so
wow.
much in there. Amazing. And
Also, Peggy and Barbara, so you were calling them by their first names? Quite liberal.
We didn't have uniforms. Yeah, we had it was
Ooh,
quite chill.
I like
Yeah,
that.
it was nice. Yeah. It was
Wow.
great. I
Like
loved
freedom of expression, though, for kids, that's cool.
Yeah,
that
that's
was a
brilliant.
great uniform. I don't like the uniform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
I know
the
you
one.
get cussed for you. Like I was getting cussed for my clothes, but I sort of developed, you know, get hard skin, get thick skin. Yeah.
were there films within that set that you were sort of exposed to when you were younger that you were like most drawn to? Was there one you remember over the others?
Great Expectations for me was the one that I was always
Nice.
the John Mills, Alec Guinness one, and I just found that so terrifying and scary. And that first scene with the guy, you're a very good boy, Pippin, like that first opening scene, just that the way the setup there. But One Flew Over.
Yeah.
Oh,
And,
so
and weirdly,
good.
Once Upon a Time in America, the James Woods, I don't think many people ever put that in when you're talking about gangster movies, but that's a great long movie, but beautiful movie. Yeah, all of them in their own way. First time I saw One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, I was with my Uncle Ben, and I was very young, but it blew me away, man. Like, just that's one of the great movies, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, that's
insane.
actually due a rewatch because I feel
Yeah.
like it's been a while since I've watched that. So I
Because
need
in
to
the
watch
play
it again.
version, you have the narration from the chief character, but in the film, it's just works perfectly. Yeah.
I'm also curious, how does one 6-year-old interpret Casino? Because that is completely insane that you were just like, yeah.
My dad
let's
was a bit
just
of a
whack it
maniac,
on.
so yeah, he was, you know, he looked a bit like he was like the Pakistani Joe Pesci, and he had like a massive tash, and he was a bit of a wild man, and yeah, so that was where the gangster, you know, he was projectionist assistant during Godfather, so he was into those
That's
gangster movies. He was
cool,
a
yeah.
Pakistani immigrant. That's sort of what he related to. But yeah, I definitely should have been watching Casino. I was like, what are they doing with those baseball bats? I was like, oh no. But I remember
really
watching
need to
Elephant
see.
Man really young, like all like
Yeah.
films I shouldn't have been. But
Yeah.
now I'm kind of glad because they got some influence. I don't know how much it's damaged me, but we'll see.
Oh well.
Yeah,
Your
oh, well.
therapist
Open that
Spill will tell us otherwise, yeah, I'm sure.
Nice. And did you ever go to the cinema with your dad when he was working?
No, I wasn't even born. No, I've got photos in the photo album, a few little, and this giant projector, and like just him, this young boy there with the guys running the cinema. But it's pretty incredible. Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
Do you have your mum's diary? Does
She
that still
has that
exist?
somewhere. I've seen it, and I
Yeah.
don't know where. Hopefully, she's kept it safe. But yeah, it's a great little. It's amazing.
Do you remember like some of the standout films from the diary?
The one I remember most is Dog Day Afternoon,
Yeah,
because that's one of my
nice.
favorite. But there are others in there. No, I'm gonna actually get
Yeah,
get
that's
it
like
out.
a nice keepsake and like
Yeah.
family tradition. You can like
Yeah.
have that down
100%.
different generations.
Yeah.
That's
I
amazing.
want to know if she's written your films in there. What she's.
I don't know if she still keeps it up. I don't, and she definitely is not putting my ones in there. Yeah.
Oh, that would
Yeah.
be so
Maybe she
cute.
should start again. Yeah.
Like an early letterboxed, but
Yeah,
on
yeah.
paper.
I'm pretty sure there is something like Brando, his eyes, or something. Like she starts talking about it, it becomes like just fancying Brando. Yeah.
Yeah. That long
There's a
history of
recurring theme
fangirling.
here.
Yeah.
Okay.
At what point were you thinking, hang on a second, I want to do that?
I think doing that Romeo and Juliet, because we did the Romeo and Juliet with West Side Story songs, and we did it for the lower school and the upper school, and there was 2 different Juliets, and we were putting tights on in the changing room, and I looked at my friend Louis, Trigger's son, and I was like, this is kind of great. No, I didn't say it like that, but like, as an 8-year-old would say it. Yeah, I think that was the first spark, and then me and my mum grew up very poor. She was on, bloody benefits, and, there was no money, and it was council estate in white flats opposite of Whittington, and I think just when you realise it was a way out, but also it was my passion, I was like, that's a dub, and so it was all I sort of thought about. I remember looking out my window just being like, please, make me an actor, make me an actor. And I would say it most nights. It was just sort of a definite, there wasn't anything else really. And I would and that was all me and my brother. I just watched movies. I play football, I play out, and I'd watch movies, and that was sort of my childhood from then until about 17, like 18. It was just sort of, that was it.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty mad.
Yeah, perfect childhood, I would say.
That's
Football and films, double F. Amazing.
Double F.
Also, tell us about making films with your friend Lewis about a cannibal. Because it feels like there is something in that story. You should pitch that maybe to Emerald. It feels ripe for a...
So we've lost this tape. So
an
my
adaptation,
friend Louis
yeah.
got... So actually, his dad, they got a cottage up in Norfolk, and I started going there from when I was 11 and sort of getting introduced to like a whole different world, and I was like, wow, this is great, you know, your mum cooks really good food and like salad dressings, and like my mum's a terrible cook, but so it was just and just that whole thing. But he found this place up in Norfolk in this forest with 3 houses, and it was during he was filming The Go-Between with I think it was Julie Christie and written by Harold Pinter. And he found this lovely house, and I would go there. And so from about 11, we would just make these home movies, because it was when those JVC cameras were coming about.
Oh, yeah.
So it was nothing to do. We'd play football in the garden. We'd just be out all day, and it was during the summer holidays. And so, but Louis, his family are like in the biz, and they're like, you know, married into the Redgraves, and you got Roger, and his dad was so my friend Louis is a very good, creative, amazing person. And so we ended up coming up with the storyline of like sort of a mockumentary, cameraman's, you know, like Ray Mears kind of if he was doing a doc about this cottage, but then there's a weird American dude, because I wanted to do American with a shotgun with an camo army jacket.
Ray Mears, the survival guy.
Yeah.
I used to watch his reruns on Dave.
Yes, and that was weird. That was the cameraman's name. So I was multi-rolling as Dave the cameraman, and this weird cannibal. So it turns into a cannibal story. It starts off as this like he's just investigating this cottage, and he's staying with this cannibal guy. Yeah. And then it turns into sort of a horror. But we've lost this tape, and it was one of our great tapes. No, it's gone. It's gone. I think my mum got rid of it somehow. But
no. Yeah,
but set in Hindelvesten in New York, so that was that.
Maybe we can recreate and use some like anti-aging technology.
We could do that. We could like the Irishman. Yeah. We could.
Sure.
We could bring it all back.
Yeah.
We tried to do it a few years later, and it was just so much worse, because it lost all the magic. I wanted to be more. I started bringing Dave from behind the camera, and he was like, "Why are you trying to get into?" It was bad. It was bad.
But it was all there in those early days. What was to come.
But we made loads of movies over the years, even guys from drama school, and just loads. That was the whole thing. Yeah, just making movies.
Making movies. I love it. I was the same as well, actually.
Yeah.
Or like remaking films, like shot for shot. I did that quite a lot with my friends.
I think we did one. We did one based on sort of when Snatch was sort of coming out, and we were going into year 7, but we had the whole summer, and it was called Balls of Desire. But it was about these Chinese like antique balls, but we didn't realize they were only the title. But it ends with a fighting tournament. Like it was like that kind of thing. Like
nice.
It was crazy. Yeah.
Starting to understand why your mum lost some of those tapes now. No, that's so fun. Yeah. That's brilliant. And you went to drama school in Bristol. Tell us a bit about that journey. Again,
like being in London, like I didn't get to go to NYT, so I wanted to like have youth theatre experience. I went to a youth theatre in Camden, like trying to just get that CV up for when you have to fill out the drama school form.
Yeah.
You know, I only auditioned for RADA, Bristol and Lambda. It was expensive. It was like 60 quid an audition.
Yeah, you have to pay to audition.
And have that kind of stuff. So yes, you've got to choose carefully. But also I wanted to get out of London anyway, because I grew up there. So I was like, let me go somewhere else. And it was and spent a year during my gap year working in a little wine shop around the corner, and just like reading your Shakespeare speeches. It was just Julius Caesar over and over. And then like what I do, Tom from the Glass Menagerie.
Oh yeah,
and,
nice.
So just and then auditioned. It was like taking like 14 people a year when I was there, and I remember the like weekend schools that weirdly you have to share a room with the stranger that you're like doing the weekend school with, so they pay you up, but for some reason there weren't single beds. Our beds were together, and this guy worked for a Viagra company, and he came back late for the night before the audition. I was like, this is so weird.
It sounds like the beginning of a
stayed
CD
in late.
film.
I was like good boy. I slept in and anyway, weekend school went great, and I got in. And it was because I'd going off reputation, really, it was like Daniel Day-Lewis went there. Obviously, there's so many other great, Jeremy Irons, Olivia Colman, Joshua Connor's been there now. He was a year below me. They got Theo James and Tony. It's a great school.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they've shut that course down now. But yeah, so that was the whole thing. But I told my dad that I was doing Spanish and Portuguese at Nottingham, which I had a place to do.
I did
You lied about the city as well. Okay.
Well, no, the thing is, I had the
You're
place.
Like, let's go as far-fetched as possible.
I had the place if I want. Like,
I see.
But it was
Yeah.
I was trying to hold him off long enough till I could tell him till I got in. And when I got in, he was like, "All right." And the thing is, I knew he loved films. So we would go down and watch like Legends of the Fall together, and like every time we'd watch a movie, have a curry with my auntie and him. And then that was sort of like my teenage years, sort of, because my parents were divorced, and so it was like I'll go and try and keep some kind of link between trying to,
Yeah.
And so I'd ask for like 50 quid for like a night hoodie and watch a movie and then go home. But, and then when I got my first job, which was soon after, I was in the second year of drama school, so I left a bit early.
And that was Spooks, wasn't it?
That was Spooks.
Yeah.
I'd auditioned for Slumdog, and my agent was assisting Danny Boyle at the time, and I saw him going to see Jerusalem with Mike Rylance, tying my shoelace. He walked past. I was like, do you want to come to see Midsummer Night's Dream for kids? But it's like clowning version. He was like, yeah, sure. And I was like, and then he came and he sent me for an audition, and then I got Spooked. So it was like,
whoa,
proper
very
weird how it happened. Yeah.
Sounds
and then,
amazing.
Yeah.
And then when my dad found out how much I was getting paid for the first job, which was the most money I'd ever had in my life, my mum was living off like £68 a week till I was 21. It was insane. And then that was it. And then I was like, it was a lot of money for back then.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah,
like,
of
I blew it all. And then he was. So I had to start doing normal jobs for a bit, because I thought it was just going to go woo, and then my career was like, hey, oh.
And when you were on Spooks, like, how did you find? Obviously that was your first screen experience.
Yeah.
So how did you find all of that? Because do you do any like screen acting?
We did one lesson in Bristol at the time. It was like a few day, like a week, and it was you're doing the sound stuff, and you're all helping each other out and basically making a whole movie, but you're reenacting little. We did secret sex lies and videotape. We had a week of just working scenes with that and all trying out stuff. That was it, which wasn't enough. And they I think now that caught after us, that developed a bit more. And they got, which all drama schools should be doing. Yeah,
both. Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think.
My friend went to drama school, and I was like, oh, what are you up to this week? And I was like, maybe he's doing like acting for TV, and he's like, yeah, I'm doing fencing lessons. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
They've definitely got time in the schedule. You can cut a few of the musical numbers out and just do, just do a bit of that. Yeah, there definitely wasn't enough, but you learn on the job. I mean, that was it. And I had Peter Firth and Nicola. They just took care of me, and I was 21. Yeah, so but it was great. It was like, because it was also sort of had that element of, it was season 10, and it's like fast paced stuff, and Peter would put his lines on my back, and like it was like learning on the job, and like quite getting lines that morning, and like it was one of those like
it's quite intimidating.
Yeah, it was mad, and I never liked my performance in that, so I was just like, wow, this is like a learning curve of like what to do and what not to do and what not. Yeah, so that kind of thing. Because
I guess as well, when things are really in their flow and you're like the new person coming in, there's even more pressure of like, just don't fuck it up.
Yeah, also you're young, and I was trying something out with the like way I was sort of doing it. I was like, oh, it's probably not works, but once it's too far gone, you can't really take it. I was like, oh no. But yeah,
committed to it now, so this is the performance you're getting. Yeah.
You said you were down to the last few people for Slumdog Millionaire. What was that experience like?
It was amazing. It was getting to like try stuff out with Danny Boyle, and but yeah, in the end it went to Dev, and he was great in it, and so but it was a great experience because I was 18. It was before drama school, so I was like, oh wow, I sort of got a little hint before I went in of what like it was going to be, so it was mad.
I'm curious actually, like going to see the success that Slumdog had, which was crazy, the critical success. Did that kind of open your eyes as well as an actor of like, okay, wow, like look how the industry's embracing this film, like the box office was huge, and kind of opening the doors to maybe roles that may not have been given to actors before?
Well, that was a little breakthrough, I guess. You had East is East 1997, then you probably had Bend It Like Beckham, then you had, and there's every like 5 years, but with those films, they're very specific, and like it's always 2 steps forward, 1 step back, that kind of stuff. Even now, the last sort of rom-com I did was about arranged marriage, so still like you get a lot of progress, and then it's sort of because I think there was a stat the other day I was reading, it was like 90% of streaming shows still post Black Lives Matter are made by white people. And I was like, that's crazy, that doesn't even make, I was like, how's that even possible?
It's wild. And
then also a lot studios now, and the way what's going on, and it's just an interesting time, man, because it takes a long time, even when the Black Renaissance happened, and that took so long to get those kind of films. And with South Asian stuff, even since Crazy Rich Asians for East Asian people, it's like it feels like sometimes there's only space for just a few of you.
Exactly.
And they go, all right, there's your movie, you got it, now get out. Like it does feel like that sometimes, and it feels like there's a lot more obstacles for people, kind of obviously. So it just takes time. You've got to keep faith. Like just before I got Wuthering, I was just having a tough time. I'd done a job, and I hadn't really had great experience in the last 2 jobs, and I was sort of just going, wow, is this still, I'm 35, am I still like, I'm 37 now, but like it's just sometimes you got to just go, all right, just keep going, because it's not, I don't really have anything else I could do, but also like it can be quite a depressing place, and so you just got to keep the faith, keep hope, try and create your own, all of that stuff. So there's always extra stuff that we have to do. But yeah, I'm like, I don't get offered those, you know, like musical biopics of old stars, or like also how do South Asians fit into the sort of American zeitgeist and all that kind of stuff. So like, there's a lot of things to think about, but like, got to keep hope, and there is, and it is happening. And I've spoke to a lot of younger Asian actors as well, and yeah, but also I'm mixed race, so sometimes even that's a different thing. Like I was never going to play Slumdog because I don't look like a slum kid. I'm not full Asian, so it's like it's this interesting things you've always got to just try and think about, especially with casting and how and then you forget how people look at you for those first 5 years of your career and what they're casting you as, and even if you get put up for stuff. So it's very complicated, and there's so many people that are involved in your career. So but it's happening.
Are there any other careers that you see that you kind of aspire, like, you know, you see that are really inspiring, that you're aspiring for something similar in that sense? Like
anyone getting to do what they want, like anyone getting to make creative original stuff. If someone's writing their own thing or making their own thing, or just playing very interesting roles that you wouldn't expect. Yeah, I mean, there's so many great people in our industry, so many great actors. There's room for everyone. Do you know what I mean? If you make a good movie, people will go watch it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they need to stop making auteurs, I think, trying to just keep small. Like, I think Greta Gerwig came the other day and said she wants to make Spielberg level movies. Yeah. It's like, that's what they were doing in the 70s. Like, with Godfather is an art house movie. So it's like, you got to encourage the auteurs to keep making that big stuff rather than a film that maybe not enough people will see. Yeah,
and to be celebrated on the same level as well as female directors. Like, often the stats are like, this is the first female director to do this. And it's like, actually the stat is this is the first director to do this, and it's like, let's remember that, like, this is, you know, it's not just like a separate camp of people. But yeah, it's really exciting to see Wuthering Heights coming into cinemas, because much like Barbenheimer, I think it's going to be quite a cinematic event to go along.
If you keep it in the cinema for that window, which is what the whole beef about is with, you know, Netflix and all that stuff. So if you keep it, you get that initial opening weekend buzz, and it might dip for a bit, but then the word of mouth will keep it going, especially with Emerald's movies. That word of mouth is so important, or any big movie, and if you market it right. So it's exciting, and the communal experience of watching this movie, I've seen it with 2,000 people the other night in Paris and LA and London, and it was wild. Like, people were screaming, crying, shouting. It was so beautiful, and I was crying my eyes out, man. It was because I hadn't experienced like that in cinema since sneaking into Romeo and Juliet when I was like 10, and having that feeling. Well, I feel like this film does that. It could be that film for that generation, where it's like so heart-wrenching, so gut-wrenching, but the imagery is so memorable, the music is so memorable, everything, that the alchemy of all the elements of all departments is so perfect. It just might have that vibe. And I remember coming out of Romeo and Juliet and watched it in Hampstead with Louis, my friend Louis, keep mentioning him, and his mum, and we snuck in because it was a 12 and we were 10. And I came out, I was like, we need to go buy toy guns and like Hawaiian shirts. Me and my friend Kieran, who I'm writing a movie now with, we would play this thing called The Game, where we would reenact like Van Damme, Wesley Snipes from Demolition Man, like Kickboxer, like all the action movies, we would do that with our older brothers. And so it inspired a whole level of creativity because there's nothing else to do. Do you know what I mean? So it's so important, films, because I remember those inspirational moments, like my biggest moments in my life. A lot of the time where I feel like super sense of hope or inspiration or making a decision in my life is that 10 minutes after a cinema.
I would agree.
So so I think it's very important.
Yeah, it's so interesting making that connection between Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet and Wuthering Heights, because they're both these very interesting literary adaptations, but that have kind of taken... They're reimagining it in a very kind of different setting, which is really interesting. When you were chatting to Emerald about the character and the world that she was building, like, what did those conversations look like?
And I remember having the first chat in a garage in Auckland. I was staying with my friend, and she was like, "Where the hell are you?" I was like, "I'm staying in my mate's garage in Auckland."
That's so like unWuthering Heights.
Yeah, because I knew that Margot and Jacob had their chats, and it was probably in some beach house somewhere, and I was like, "Oh, this is a joke." But yeah, it's just those first chats on what does she want. She said she wanted to make him a credible threat, because in the book he's a bit of a milk toast sap, she kept saying. And
it's a good phrase.
Yeah, it's a great phrase.
Toast sap. That's devastating.
Yeah, she was like, "No, I want to make him a credible threat, and he's not just this rich guy. That the love is real, and blah blah blah." So then it was about trying to get the voice in the movement, but like not trying to caricature an old English gent, but trying to ground it in reality, and then you're just messing around in your room for months, like a couple of months, and then you test it out when you first start rehearsing, and then you like, but you don't know until the end of the movie comes out, and so it's a year of stress of like, wait, was that over the top, or like, was that, and it seems to be working, and then you're like, but happily I think it worked. So yeah, you never know.
I mean, clearly it has worked because the fans are going crazy. Getting on set, because it was also a composite set, wasn't it? So it was like you were kind of, it's on a lot, not a lot. What am I trying to say? But like you're a sound stage. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Yeah. But it's like kind of inside outside as well. So yeah, like getting to step on set in the costume for the first time, like was it completely surreal?
It was mad because you're working with these high caliber people, and you know Lena Sanger and the DOP as well. Like the guy had shot La La Land, he's doing June 3. Like, you know that every department sort of, Jacqueline Duran's first film was Eyes Wide Shut. Like, it was mad. That's
wild.
Was
that your first film?
I know, this is mad. And so, but you come on and it was like trying to just pinch yourself because you're sort of like, no, I'm there now, I'm supposed to be here. But really, it felt like one of those old Hollywood golden age movies because you're in these old costumes. We did a camera test and it was me, Jacob and Margot walking towards Wuthering Heights and just back into the camera and they're blowing wind in our face, and I was just like, this is insane because the set is working and it's the smoke and it's the lighting and it just felt like one of those old movie sets. And I was like, oh, this is a dream, and it's shot on film, so it's like so that was another thing, seeing it, you're like, this is a proper movie shot on film on this big screen, and you're like, if I die now, if someone, I'm happy, like, I'm good.
You can see that in the production design. I was just reading today that like the crimson floors in Thrushcross Grange, and then it's like
it's the hardest word to say.
Yeah, Thrushcross.
Yeah, that is hard.
Grange. Yeah, it's hard.
Thrushcross Grange. Oh my god, I'm glad that it's not just me.
It's everyone, every single person.
Kathy's skin room as well. It's just like wild.
Yeah, we can't wait
I've got a bit of that. I've got a bit of that skin.
You've got
Emerald gave it as a present, so yeah, I have a
really?
bit.
I love that.
Framed.
Okay.
Wow.
Skin,
Where's that going in your house?
It's going straight on the wall. It's on the wall.
Which room though? Where does that sit?
It's on my living room. I got a little flat, and it's on the wall with a little cactus underneath because it looks like a sun. So I made it try to look like weird, like it's like Mexican style decoration.
Okay.
Like LA influence. Like that kind of like Palm Springs type thing.
I love it. Well, we've got a question that's like, what's your favourite bit of like film paraphernalia, like poster or something you've nabbed from set? I think that's got a ticket, has it?
I think that's the best. It's Margot's. I got Margot's mole. It's right there. Like it's there.
That might be the best we've heard on the entire podcast. Actually.
Not in a weird way. It's a present from Emerald.
Yeah. It's a normal thing to have. And you've worked on quite a few adaptations now, including Nautilis, the Jules Verne adaptation, and that must have been a crazy shoot, sort of swashbuckling, running around.
That was
11 months in Australia.
That was 11 months in Australia. Yeah, that was like your Errol Flynn swashbuckling era.
And that's been one that's been adapted again and again over the years. And I know in the version that you're in and in the original story, Captain Nemo is of South Asian heritage, and the sort of whole story is a kind of like revenge against the East India Company, and that's kind of like missing from some of the adaptations over the years. So what was it like to kind of bring that history back into the show?
Well, I actually studied history a lot at school, and the syllabus isn't great for teaching us the way we should be taught. So even if the film can do it in some way, in some kind of, it's good to get revenge on screen if you can't. And
exactly.
With the British, what they're up to, the government, all of that stuff. So if you can do it through screen, it can, and if a little brown kid could see his face on screen. I did get at the airport once, some Asian guy and his kid came up and he was like, "Look, man, we're watching Nautilis and blah blah," and it's like, that's always going to be good.
That's so lovely that you had someone come up and they watched it. That must be
the most gratifying thing.
Honestly. It's great, even if it's one person, to know that they're, especially if it's a little sad, because I remember doing that myself when I was a kid. But I'd have to watch like Benicio del Toro or like because there weren't many brown actors I was looking up to,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It was Wesley Snipes, Denzel, and Benicio.
Yeah. Although when in What's Love Got to Do with It, you were working with Bollywood royalty, weren't you?
Yeah, that was wow. I told my cousin that, and she cried her eyes out. Yeah, it was like the Meryl Streep of for her, and it was wild.
Yeah, that must have been fun. Did you get good? Did you have time to like chat off camera or
we would spend days together. We'd make curry together. Sajal made curry once for us. It was amazing. It was that was a real sense of like, oh, this is there was a sense of home and nostalgia there that I've not had in other film sets. Yeah.
Looking back on your roles, on Toast, you had an affair with Matt Berry's wife, and you explored arranged marriages and What's Love Got to Do with It. You play a pathetic, your own words, cheating husband in Magpie. You play a jihadist trying to lure women out to Syria under the promise of marriage in Profile.
Oh, no.
And in Wuthering Heights, you're essentially kind of like emotionally cucked by Jacob Elordi. So, like, what's going on? Like, is there a pattern forming
is it
here?
something in my eyes? I don't know what it is. Like, is it the way I look? I don't know. That's a combination of everything. Maybe it's I'll blame it on my mum and dad. Maybe
blame it on parents. Yeah.
I had a traumatic childhood. Yeah. So yeah, maybe it's that. Maybe it's my dad's fault. It's Casino Too Young. That's what it is.
That's
you
it.
go.
It all makes sense. We knew.
That's such a mad combination of roles you've done that have come back to that
It's so
theme.
weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
To look back on one CV and be like, wait, what? Like,
What's going on here?
It's an overarching theme here. Oh, okay.
A deeper question. Has any of those roles, especially maybe Wuthering Heights, which is, one of the most well-known romances of the English canon, has it made you reflect on love and relationships? Have you got
I mean, I do
takeaways?
that every day. I do that every day anyway. Like,
Okay.
love is a mystery. It's like you wake up thinking one thing, you go to bed thinking another, don't you? It's like I'm an actor. I'm traveling the world. It's the hardest job. I think it's one of the hardest jobs to have a stable relationship. But you just got to try and find the right person, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe not Heathcliff though. Bit moody.
He's moody.
Yeah.
He's too moody.
Yeah.
He's got too much trauma.
He's
unpacked that trauma.
He has to go and do
man.
some
Jeez.
ayahuasca or something. He needs to do something. Yeah.
Better help, maybe.
That would be an interesting film. Heathcliff doing ayahuasca. Yes.
I'd watch that.
Pitch
That's a good
to the
sequel.
studios.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a good sequel. There you go. Give Emerald a ring.
Obviously, Margot is not only acting in it, but she's producing it as well. She's been producing under her banner Lucky Chap for a number of years now.
But Margot, she's she's such a great producer, such a great actress, she's just a kind, beautiful human being, but also just so skilled at everything she does. And I'll never forget working with her. She's like, I want to work there again. Like, I'll do anything for Emerald and Margot. Yeah.
I do feel like anyone who has a story about her is like, she is a nice. You're like, will
the
the
Aussies,
facade?
man. It's the Aussies.
But you're like, literally nobody has a bad word to say
It's
about
the Gold
her.
Coast girls. They're the best. Aussies are great.
She just is.
Aussies are great.
It's all the hype. It's true.
Yeah.
It is true. Shall we wrap up with a few fun?
Yeah, we've got a few quick fires.
Quick
for
fires.
you. That's okay.
Quick-fire.
But they're never quick because we always end up just like fangirling over the films that are mentioned. As BIFA, we're obviously pretty biased towards British independent movies. Do you have a classic British or British independent film that you think everyone needs to watch?
Well, I did just watch I Swear, the most recently.
Oh, we just had
Robert
Romeo on.
That's got to be one of the greatest performances ever.
He's
It's ridiculously
so
good.
fantastic.
Also, it's just such a funny. It's just everything about that film is perfect. It's very funny, very heartbreaking. It's just a great movie.
Yeah.
It's just a great movie.
And it's hard to get that tone right, and they do.
Yeah.
It's hard for it to be. But
I'm trying to think other ones in the past. There's so many.
Yeah, it's a horrible question. I wouldn't want to answer
Yeah.
it, but I like asking.
I had Daniel Blake.
Yes.
That broke my heart because that was just very close to my mum in a way, that story, and it was just the whole system and how it's messed up, and like Hayley Squires was just unbelievable in that.
Yeah.
My Name is Eric. Any Ken Loachy stuff
Yeah.
is coming into my mind.
My Name is Eric is my favourite Ken Loach, and I feel like
It's also one of the best football movies.
Yeah,
which
true.
are very hard to do. There ain't that many good sports movies, and My Name is Eric, I think, is a genius way of doing it.
Yeah. My Name is Eric. Looking for Eric.
Looking for Eric.
Looking for Eric.
Not My Name is
Sorry,
Eric.
we'll dub it. But yeah, I think that is a slept-on Ken Loach movie.
Yes.
So yes, thank you for bringing that up. And shifting gears, do you have a favourite cinema snack, cinema seat? Any rules for when you go to the cinema that
like
people need to follow?
rituals.
I got a thing about peeing, especially the theatre's worse, but I have to sit usually at the back, and usually to the left side. It could be either side, but on the aisle.
Okay.
So my feet can hang out because I've got quite long legs, and then also if I need to go to the toilet, I can go, which I don't. It's just in the head, and then popcorn mixed. I do like a really sour sweet.
Ooh, nice.
But yeah, that's my go-to.
Like a Sour Patch Kid or something?
Yeah, or the pink and blue bottles, but like I'll have loads, but then I'll
nice.
try not weirdly.
Yeah.
I'll take the sugar off and then get rid of the sweet because I don't want to like overdo the sweets. So I'll end up with a popcorn box full of like sweet. It's
there
weird.
you
It's
go.
horrible.
Yeah, if there's sucked sweets all over
Slightly
the floor on a
psychopathic,
corner.
but
seat,
yes.
insane, yeah.
No, I am there
I used
with
to
you.
do that with
yeah.
the sugar at my local. Like I'd buy just the sugar because it's so sour. My tongue used to bleed. It's weird. I don't. It's weird.
Come out of the cinema with a sugar rush, just like looking around, don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Right, it's time to come clean. Is there a film that you pretend to have seen that actually you haven't, that you want to admit to us now in this safe space of the BIFA podcast that we'll then share online?
I'm trying to think. I've seen a lot of movies. I'm trying to think. Honestly, if I'm
you're a genuine film buff, so you might be.
I'm struggling
completed
to.
it.
I've watched all
Films complete them.
I've seen Citizen Kane. Everyone always asks.
There you go. And Godfather, you've seen?
About 1 million. I'm a big rewatcher. I watch like films like I've seen films over hundreds of times. Yeah, honestly,
Yeah, I love that.
I don't really do much else.
Brilliant. There you go. He's legit.
Well, that's it then. Yeah.
Fabulous. Cool. Oh, and one final one, and I promise it's the end. Do you have a favourite romance on screen? Given you're in Wuthering Heights, we had to ask, and it's coming out of Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I've got two. I've got Bright Star with Ben Whishaw and Abby Cornish.
Ooh, I've not seen that.
Which is about John Keats and Jane Campion, and I think it's one of the most beautiful films ever made.
Oh, amazing.
And then soundtrack is amazing as well. And Candy with Heath Ledger and Abby Cornish again. So Abby Cornish is in two of them, which is weird. And I met her one time in a little fish restaurant in LA, and we just drank tequila all afternoon. I was just like, this is the best day of my life. But she, Candy, which is about addiction, but it's also there's just something about their performances. I think he did it in between Dark Knight and Brokeback, and it's just a beautiful relationship drama, but very romantic and heartbreaking. So yeah, those two I think are very powerful. Yeah.
Oh, they're very good. Yeah, that's great recommendations.
Wuthering Heights at cinema. Come home, watch those two. Cry my eyes out.
Yeah. All of those are teardrop. Yeah, you're gonna be out.
Emotionally devastated, but rich.
We wish we could talk to you longer, but thank you so much.
Thank you. That's great. I'd stay here for 4 hours. Yeah, it's
great. We could go on forever, but yeah, thank you so much for your time.
Thank
you.
And
go and see Wuthering Heights in the cinema, everybody. Cool.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to the BIFA podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, then make sure to subscribe so that you can listen to brand new episodes as they land. We want all of the film fans to find us, so make sure to tell all of your friends and spread the word. The hosts were Karis, Aldridge and Joy Hunter. The show was produced by the BIFA team. The audio technician was Itzel Gonzalez Estrada. Filmed at Bleat Post-Production.